The man behind the investigation into the Trump campaign's ties with Russia will testify before Congress next month. Former special counsel Robert Mueller has been almost totally silent on his final report since it became public in March. But he has agreed to publicly now answer questions after House Democrats issued subpoenas for him to appear. Lindsay Duncombe has more on this for us from Washington this morning. So, Lindsay, what are the Democrats expecting? What are they hoping from Mueller's testimony?
Well, what they're hoping for is testimony that goes beyond the evidence and the conclusions of the report and gives some context about why Mueller's team made the decisions that they made, particularly the decision not to prosecute on the obstruction of justice evidence, and any kind of insight into both the Russian involvement in the 2016 election and then how the campaign handled it after, the two topics that the volumes of the report dealt with. What they're likely to get, though, is Robert Mueller essentially saying what we already know, because when Robert Mueller ended the special counsel office, closed it up, he said the report is my testimony. He wanted to leave that out there and not have one of these made-for-TV spectacles where he could be subject to political questioning. But even if that is the way he's going to answer those questions, he certainly will be facing Democrats who want to go beyond that, including the chair of the House Judiciary Committee, Jerry Nadler. Here's what he'll be looking for.
There's been a campaign of misrepresentation by Attorney General Barr, who misrepresented what was in the report, by the president, who keeps saying the report found no collusion, no obstruction. That's not true either way. So it's important the American people hear from him what the report found. It's important that he answer a lot of specific questions.
Now, even if all that we hear from Robert Mueller is the substance of the report, let me turn to page this or page that as he answers questions, that will be an opportunity for Democrats, if not an outright victory, because what that will do, under the spotlight of relentless midsummer news coverage, is sort of give that evidence life, give those conclusions life, and fuel the decision that Democrats are facing, which is whether or not to begin impeachment proceedings of the President of the United States.
So we also know that Republicans will be keenly watching all of this. What are we expecting to hear from them?
Well, Republicans, too, want to go beyond the scope of the report, and they have a very different line of questioning, particularly the president's supporters. They want to get into their accusations of bias on Mueller's team, and they want to know about why this whole thing got started in the first place. Investigate the investigators, especially when it comes to the assertion that there was surveillance or spying on the Trump campaign under the Obama administration. Here's one of Donald Trump's supporters, Matt Gaetz, a representative in the House of Representatives.
I think we got a lot of questions about how Robert Mueller's team was assembled. I've been a critic of how the Mueller team was assembled. I think it's ludicrous that you had people who were involved in defending the Clinton Foundation engaged in this investigation.
And how does the president feel about the prospect of having Robert Mueller on TV wall to wall? Well, he tweeted 2 words about this: presidential harassment.
CBC's Lindsay Duncombe in Washington. Thank you, Lindsay.